Hello, I am Terry Gilliam with Leaving California and Life After California. Today, we are leaving California for Nashville, Tennessee. My guest today is our realtor partner, Shauna Mason. Shauna, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me today. Can we start by just having you give us a little bit of background about yourself, how long you've been in the Nashville area, how long you've been a realtor, things like that?
Sure. My name is Shauna Mason, and I'm with Remax Advantage here in Nashville. I moved to Nashville in 1988. I was in the fifth grade, so I consider myself a native at this point. My husband was born and raised here. He's a fireman, and we have a 13-year-old daughter who's in middle school, and then we've hosted 5 exchange students. So we have 5 other kids that come back and forth from other countries and hang out at our house. I started real estate in 2005, and I sell all over Middle Tennessee.
Well, and I even found you because I saw you do an interview in Murfreesboro. So you must be very well known in the area.
Well, I've been here a long time, so and I'm very involved in the community. I'm on the Women's Council of Realtors, and I'm actually going to be the president next year. So I do serve on that board, and I'm very involved in the chamber and just everything going on in Middle Tennessee.
Awesome. Well, can we start by talking about Nashville? Just kind of give us a broad overview of the area, the growth. I know it's a major employment hub now. Every time I go to Nashville, which is one of my favorite towns in the whole country, they are building like crazy. So can you kind of talk about that, and then also let folks know that it's not too late maybe to buy in the metro area, whether it's Nashville or Murfreesboro or somewhere in the surrounding area?
Absolutely. So they're saying right now that we have more cranes in the sky than New York City. That's how much building that we're doing here. When I moved to the town I live in, which is Smyrna, Tennessee, which is between Nashville and Murfreesboro, there were 14,000 people here, and now we have 60,000 people in our town. My county, which is Rutherford County, which encompasses Murfreesboro, Smyrna, and Laverne, we had 4 high schools when I graduated high school here, and now we have 9. So we have major growth here. The companies that we have here that are headquartered, Nissan is a big one. Nissan actually moved here from California about 7 or 8 years ago. They moved to Franklin, Tennessee, and that brought a lot of people from California here for work when the headquarters moved here. We also have Lifeway Bookstore, which is a Christian bookstore headquartered downtown. We have Ingram Books, which is in Laverne, Tennessee. Cracker Barrel is, everybody loves Cracker Barrel, and that's headquartered in Lebanon. Community Healthcare Systems is in Franklin as well. And then we have Hobby Lobby in Brentwood. Healthways is in Franklin. So, and HCA, we have downtown, and then we also have Dell, which is in the Antioch area near the airport. So we do have major cities here, companies here. We also have Amazon, which Amazon is bringing 5,000 jobs here for tech. They're going to be located downtown Nashville. It's an area they're calling the Yards. It's going to have hotel for people who are coming back and forth for Amazon, as well as a movie theater, an outdoor movie drive-in and for concerts and such. So it's going to be pretty neat. As far as companies that have a really strong presence here, we also have Fifth Third Bank. We have AT&T, Schneider Electric, and Lyft as well as headquartered. They have a headquarters downtown Nashville.
Wow, I had no idea. I mean, again, I know it's a thriving metropolis, but I had no idea that all those companies. And you also mentioned that Facebook's coming to Nashville. Is that correct?
Yes. So we have several companies that are coming here this year or have just come here. Google actually is coming to Clarksville. Mitsubishi is coming to Franklin. We have Bridgestone. They brought another headquarters down to downtown Nashville as well this year. Pilot is hiring for admin. They're bringing a headquarters here. And then Smile Direct is in Antioch. And then we also have Facebook. And Facebook is actually looking for a location in Gallatin, Tennessee. That is going to be northeast of Nashville. And they're going to have a data center. So they're going to have several tech jobs.
Well, with that kind of growth in mind, knowing that how fast Nashville's grown over the last several years, and I've been going to Nashville for probably the last 6 or 7 years, and every year I go, I can see the difference. How are they handling that infrastructure wise? Are they building more freeways, expanding freeways, things like that?
So we have had expansions. They just expanded. We have an interstate here called 440, which is a loop around Nashville that takes you all the way to like West Nashville, and that they just expanded that 4 lanes, which has really helped our growth. It goes into Green Hills, and a lot of people that drive from the suburbs into downtown use that loop.
And then your airport, I've been to, again, obviously I fly into your airport. You got a nice big airport there, which by the way features live music, which I absolutely love that too.
Yeah.
But the airport can handle high volumes and is ready for that kind of growth too, aren't they?
Yes, and we just added on to our airport. So they just added some parking, which we desperately needed, and they've added a terminal in downtown. I mean, in the airport too. Yes, we do have Tootsies in our airport. So if your flight's delayed or if you have to sit out and wait for someone, we also have live music while you're outside waiting for someone, and you do have a little kiosk there that's Tootsies as well that sells just beer and stuff like that while you're waiting if you want.
Well, speaking of Tootsies, I mean, one of my favorite places in the whole country is Broadway in downtown Nashville. For anybody who hasn't been there, even if you're not a country music fan, it has some of the best musicians in the world. They are just amazing. And they all work for free except for tips. They just work for tips.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no cover charges to get into these places, anything like that. But can you kind of just touch on Broadway, one of my favorite places, and tell us what a unique experience it is?
So we call our bars on Broadway honky tonks. So if it's a country bar, it's a honky tonk. And when we go out downtown, we say we're going honky tonkin'. So it's very fun. Everyone is usually in a really good mood, and live music. My favorite thing to do is walk down Broadway, and you can hear music coming from everywhere. So you can just go in and out of the bars that you want to go into. There's no cover. And you just need to tip the musicians because they do work for free, like Terry said. So one of the tips when you're in Nashville, and the locals will probably want to kill me, but instead of going into the front door, the best thing to do is go through the alleyway in the back between the ramen and the honky tonk that you want to go into, because no one knows about it, and that is where the musicians from the ramen will go into the bar from the back, so no one sees them, and they'll get a beer and they'll run back to the ramen. So that's your local tip.
Well, that's great information for me. I'll make sure I do that next time I'm there. By the way, my favorite place is Robert's Western World because the musicians in there, some of them played with Patsy Cline and Merle Haggard, and I mean, it's just an amazing place. I can't wait to go back again. Well, let's turn our attention to the surrounding areas. So, if someone lives in Murfreesboro, is that? I mean, again, most people don't even know where Murfreesboro is, but is that too far to commute to Nashville, or are there bedroom communities where you can live in a nice home on a decent lot in a nice neighborhood for an affordable price, and yet still maybe commute to downtown Nashville?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the surrounding areas to Nashville are going to be Cheatham County, Robertson County. We have Wilson County, and then Rutherford County is Murfreesboro, and then we also have Williamson County. So it really kind of depends. Williamson County is going to be a more expensive area of town. Your average house prices are going to be in the 400s in Williamson County. That encompasses Franklin, Brentwood, and then also Fairview, which Fairview is further out, so it's cheaper to live in Fairview. There's a mall, tons of shopping, a lot of things to do in that area. A lot of the country singers live in Williamson County. And so Rutherford County is going to be south of Nashville. That's probably, when you have a lot of traffic, you're looking at a 45-minute commute from Murfreesboro. It's really only 19 miles to 20 miles downtown Nashville, but it really depends on what time of day you're commuting as far as how long it's going to take you. Rutherford County encompasses Smyrna, Laverne, Murfreesboro, Las Casas, and Eagleville. And it's gonna your average housing price is going to be around $289 in this area. If you're looking at Wilson County, which is going to be a little bit east of Rutherford County and southeast of Davidson, Nashville, it's going to be Mount Juliet and Lebanon and Gladeville. And that area is around $280 on their average housing price. And then if you go north, that's going to be Cheatham County, which is Ashland City, Pleasant View. They're a little cheaper. You're probably looking around $260 for your average price.
And when for the average price, what kind of lot and what kind of house do you get for that?
So I mean, you can easily get like a 1/4 acre lot, for that lower price. Around $280, you're probably looking at like a 1,500 square foot house, maybe 16, depending on how much further out you are.
I know that folks will be reaching out to discuss Nashville with you. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So long, California.